accept himself yet. And I first got to know him on his dairy farm when I was in practice. This would have been back in the 80s, and back at that time, the Wisconsin rolling herd average was about 10,000 pounds per cow, which sounds hard to believe, but it was. And 80 pounds per cow milk production hadn't even been invented yet, basically, at that time. And I went on this gentleman's farm. The first thing I noticed as I drove on is the lawns, everything were immaculate. The place was very well put together. I walked in the tie stall barn. The cows were tremendously clean, very comfortable, looked very content, very happy. The barn itself, you could have eaten off the floor. And I got to know the man himself and really admired how he took care of his herd of cows and how he went about his business. After we'd been there a few times and started talking about dairy records and how things were going, he mentioned to me that his production was a little over 80 pounds per cow. And that was just absolutely unheard of in those days. And I asked him how he did that. Very few other dairymen that I knew were able to achieve that. And he said, it's just, if you take care of the cows will take care of you. And that's been his philosophy, whether it be the cows or the land, or I think the county. So I knew him as a dairyman for many years. I admired what he did. I always enjoyed going there. And also he had another job. That is helping with conservation efforts in Kewaunee County. He worked with a passion for that, just like he had a passion for his herd of cows. He knew that there were better ways for us to manage our waterways and manage runoff potential, and was instrumental in many of the practices that changed the face of Kewaunee County even many years ago. He's since retired from both of those occupations, but he hasn't given up. And recently he started popping up on the radar in the last few years a couple of times. I get an email from him. It was just an email, kind of a tap on the shoulder saying, well, Don, there's probably some things that we as a dairy community could be doing, as a farm community could be doing to help improve the environmental attention that our operations have, and to help communicate what we're doing to people not at the farm. And we're all busy, and you get an email like that, and it sounds like a good idea, and you think you get around to it someday, but you kind of forget, you get busy. And then about 3 months later, there'd be another email, another tap on the shoulder saying, well, Don, I think maybe we should sit down and talk about this and look at this, and that's a great idea, and you got busy. But he used the kind of the dripping water technique, and you heard the dripping enough, and he would say, well, there's a group down in southern Wisconsin. They're doing an amazing job of environmental stewardship and management and communication and outreach to the community, and they're having some tremendous results. So we had a link then to their website. I didn't have enough time to look up that, and I looked it up, and by gosh, they were doing some amazing things down there. That inspiration led us to start our group, Peninsula Pride Farms, here in Kewaunee and Southern Door counties. But there's no doubt in anyone's mind that the inspiration for that whole idea, which has already blossomed into a very exciting, successful program, lies with one man who had the vision for how we could improve things. So I would like to, with great enthusiasm, introduce our honoree this year in cohort with my co-conspirator, his wife, Dorothy, who helped to make sure he was here today. But Tom Konop, would you please come up for your award?
my wife was so anxious to come this week. Retired people are supposed to stay in bed though. But I want to thank you, Don, very much. You know, this farm group that's gotten together in the county, this Peninsula Pride thing, I don't think anybody knows all the work that goes into it. And Don has been, and Ann, his wife, been really gracious enough to spend, I'm sure, hours and hours with interviews and meetings and the board of directors. So Don and Ann and all the people that are on the board of directors, I congratulate you people for getting this going, and I hope it turns out to be the conservation movement in the county. I really believe in the whole idea of farmers leading the way on, you know, on conservation and water quality, and it's taken place. And thank you all, the board of directors, and Don and Ann, and all of you that have spent many hours on this.
Before I let Tom sit down, which he's desperate to do, just to give all of us and Tom an idea of what he has started here, can I ask all the members of Peninsula Pride Farmers to stand up, please? In about 3 months, thank you. In about 3 months, the organization has gone from non-existing to including 40 farms in Kewaunee and Southern Door, both dairy farms, large and small, as well as crop farms. It includes 32,000 cows and 57,000 acres. So Tom's water dripping idea has turned into a great movement. We look forward to great success. So thank you all.